To my vintage digital clock followers, we have a video. I know it's been a while, but this is always the exciting part. Let's crack in. Okay, I went ahead and opened it up. You guys don't want to see that part, do you? Anyway, we have something pretty rare and special. Not a lot of information out there, but it was featured in an old Popular Mechanics magazine. I'll get into that later in the video, but let's just do a walk around what we have, and then we'll get into the cool stuff on the inside. So the basic clock setting buttons of the time, old vintage plug. This has got all the signs of good old stuff, right? This is maybe walnut. I went ahead and covered up a name and address, but looks like this was originally in the St. Louis, Missouri area. In case I didn't make it clear, this is a hobby kit from early or mid 70s, and called Aries. And this one's special. We're going to open this up because of what is inside. Look at this. We have, can you name that tube? No, it's not a Nixie tube. No, not a Numatron tube. These are vacuum fluorescent display tubes. Really early ones. Pretty neat. Got some big iron power there. A ceramic, let's see, clock IC. 5311. So yeah, National Semiconductor MM 5311. Dated 1972. That's early. Very early. This is cutting edge electronics at the time. This hit the market. This was new, brand new technology. The National Semiconductor clock chip actually Heathkit has got a pretty well known clock, the GC1005. This one might even beat the Heathkit. 36 volts. We've got a lot of dust in here. Needs a little scrubbing. Digit lines. These early package transistors, kind of slang term, glob top. Very, very early stuff. Not sure what the potentiometer is for. We're going to have to look into that. I'm going to have to do a capacitor change, which probably just change these capacitors before we fire this up. I do not know the history of this clock as far as whether it was working or not. So we're going to have to go in with caution, and we'll come back with another video on this clock operating and all cleaned up. But this is the clock in the raw, farm fresh, as some might say. Nice blue filter. We're going to clean everything up after we know it's working. These display tubes are not marked. I'm going to have to get some better glasses and clean the dust off carefully, but I have a feeling the problem with these any vacuum fluorescent display, especially the early ones, their intensity, they just didn't last that long before they started wearing out. This clock could have been parked because the display was hard to read or going faint. So we'll have to hope that these tubes are still willing to play along. If not, we're going to have to retrofit some later tubes in this clock, which would be a shame, because right here is it's where the beauty's at. It's just, you don't see these style vacuum fluorescent display tubes anymore. They will almost impossible to get these, I'm sure. The model of this clock is the Aries AR-730-K, and one could buy it from the back of the hobby magazines at the time, and this was Popular Mechanics magazine that had this particular one. Not sure if it showed up in others, but at least in this Popular Mechanics December 1973 issue, page 127, Andy Santoni talks about this clock and putting it together at the tune of 10 hours assembly time, and I guess you can contribute that to a lot of the extra wiring with the tubes, with the individual lead-in wires and stuff. But $47.50, and you could mail order it, P.O. Box in Peabody, Massachusetts. And that's about all the information we have on this clock, a little bit in that article. I will link that article below. I removed the 4 screws on the bottom of the aluminum cover, bottom of the case. And interesting technique here with springs on each corner. So we'll pull those off. They were through the 4 wood screws that mount the bottom on, fasten the bottom on. And the corners look like they were re-drilled. And we're in the area of the vacuum fluorescent display tubes. Looks like some rework was done, or some damaged traces. Possibly. The rest of the board looks pretty good. We got some fuzz. And an added diode in there. Random solder blobs are never a good thing in electronics. This is the wood case. So we got some BCD takeoff points. This IC does BCD. I have to look it up to see if it does 7-segment as well, which I think it does both. Aries C1054. One dusty slow blow fuse, a couple line caps, lots of diodes. The capacitor starting to ooze out, maybe. Don't draw in my dust. As always, if somebody viewing this video has any documentation or paperwork on this clock, I'd appreciate it if you reach out to me and maybe we can get together and get a copy. Thank you. Thanks for watching.